Hey guys, welcome back from Classic Work. I got a request the other day that somebody wanted to learn some more about getting the most out of your hand tools, some more tricks and some more tips that I was going to give y'all on some more aspects of construction and layout tools. And I was going to take a little bit different roadmap this time. I was going to show more on the tools that I've already shown you and just some more tricks pretty much. So without any further ado, let's get after it, let's get started. When you're making a rip cut on a piece, sometimes if it's not a very wide rip cut, you can use your speed square, and say if you want to mark it out for an inch, you can take your pencil and hold it there on the 1 inch increment on the square and just drag the pencil and the square down to make a 1 inch line from this outside edge. But sometimes you can't do that because say your square this is a 7 inch square, that's all you got. You can't mark any further than that accurately. So what a lot of people do in construction, especially when you're trying to be fast, is use a tape measure. You can, wherever you want to mark it, say we hold it out here to 8 inches, and we can come down here, hold it out to 8 inches, hold your index finger right behind the 8 inch line, and you're going to mark it on the top half with your pencil up here on the edge. So you're going to drag the tape and your pencil down at the same time. Pretty much the same principle as the speed square that'll mark that 8 inches. And the more you practice at it, the better you can get. I was a little off on this one. This one's right at an 1/8 and a 1/16. But if you're going to cut that line off, it'd be about right. But you know, practice at it and you can get very good at it. Another thing that we do a lot in construction is if you need to cut a circle in something. And that's pretty easy if you have a compass like this one or like this one, where you can just measure out the span and cut it out. But a lot of times on the job, you're not going to have tools like these. So one thing that you can do is wherever you want to put your hole at, you can take you like a little finish nail, and the smaller it is the better. Find your center point wherever you're going to put it, drive it in there a little bit. Once you do that, whatever size circle that you're going to do, and we're going to put a 12-inch circle here, you can go and cut you a little stick that's the diameter of it, which would be 6 inches, and you're just going to butt it up to the edge of that nail, take you a pencil, and then just kind of rotate it around the nail. And this is a fast, accurate, easy way to be able to draw out a circle without any kind of fancy measuring devices. And it is accurate. Okay, this next bit right here I'm going to show you is a construction technique. Now sometimes when you're on the job, you're going to run into problems like this one where you don't have a board long enough to tie into something else. Say it's just a little bit short and you need to add a piece on there. Instead of scabbing a board on there and then screwing it or nailing it to the other board, you can do this. This here is known as an alligator. What you're going to do is, whatever stock you're working with, go ahead and find the center point, which this right here is a 2x4, so it's going to be 1 3/4 is going to be half. Mark your half, and then take your speed square and put it on the center point of the mark that you just made. And a good rule of thumb to make an alligator is you're going to take the width of your board and add pretty much half of the width to it for this type of joint. Now I'm not going to go exactly 1 1/2 the width. I'm going to go 5 inches, which is pretty close. And then just draw you a line. So you take your 5-inch mark here and put it on the outside of the board, and then have it from the center. Turn your square over and do the same thing on the other side. Okay, and there's the first part. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut off this piece and this piece and leave this as your remainder. Okay, what you wind up with something that looks kind of like this, like just a stake end that you drive into the ground. But once you have this, you're going to take your other board and position it on top. This here would be your male end. You're fixing to cut your female end. So what you want to do is center it up on the sides the best you can, on both sides. And you need to get it as close as you can to being parallel in the same plane with each other. Once you do that, you can trace out your outline. Now remember, these don't need to be flipped or anything, so mark T on this piece and T on this piece for top so you don't get them confused. And then, you can barely see it, I didn't quite go all the way, but you're going to cut out this part right here, and this here will be your female end. When you get done, it should look something like that once they're together, and you want to either glue and screw this together or glue and nail it. And it's a pretty good joint, but this is also, to tell you the truth, I don't believe it's quite up to code because you just joined two pieces, but it's a lot stronger than if you were to splice it. I know this may not look very strong, but that is a very strong joint. But that's a real good way to splice two boards together if you need a little additional length. This is one problem that we run into all the time as woodworkers. It doesn't matter if you're in construction or even furniture making. When you're trying to measure the distance between two pieces like this one, and your tape curls up and hits out here on this corner, you're not going to be able to get an accurate measurement like that. So, if you were to read it like that, it looks like you would need a piece 17 3/4. To combat this, what you do is move your tape a little bit and measure towards the outside. Now you can get an accurate reading. So, from what I'm reading it looks like it's about 17 7/8. And as you can see, I was a full 1/8 off. So, that's one technique that you can use to get an accurate measurement between two distances. Another one is this trick. Sometimes, on the other hand, you can't bend that tape measure around and get an accurate reading on the corner. Maybe it's down like in a vessel, like a box or something, and there's no way that you can do that, so you're going to have to measure it from this point to this point. And for that, I break out this tool right here. This here is a stick rule, and y'all have probably seen me use it if you watch any of my videos. And most people don't realize what this is for. This is a sliding readout that's on one of the ends. One end has it and one end doesn't. But what you can do is you can take your stick rule, and if it's too long, you can crib it back one joint, stick it on one edge nice and flat, and then extend your readout until it touches the other side. Now then, you come down here and you look and see what your measurement is, and it says we have 13 down here at the back end. You're going to hold your readout as you pull it out, and then you're going to read what it says on the numbers here. Now the light's really bad and I know you can't see it, but from what I'm reading it's 4 inches and 7/8 of an inch. So we know from our previous measurement that was 17 7/8, and 4 plus 13 is 17, and 4 7/8 is 7/8. So that's one very, very important tool that I like to keep on me all the time. But that's just a few little tricks in measuring things that are odd. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. I hope you got something out of it. If you got any questions or comments, please ask them. And once again, from here from Classic Work, y'all take care. God bless.